my name is Chrissy Clements. Everyone watches AccessTV.org.
Welcome to another week of Education One. My name is Samuel Cephas, host of Education One. This week we have an important guest, one of my kids from MC Square. His name is Marcus Harris, and he's a student at CCSU. Marcus, welcome.
How you doing, Sam?
All right.
Good to see you.
Give the viewers a little overview of who you are, where you've been, and where you're going.
Oh, well, I grew up I guess I would say like any average minority today.
Okay.
I grew up, necessarily in the hood, as most people would say, but I transitioned from there. I had a good education, a very decent education, and I was able to use that to change my surroundings.
Now, let me ask you a question, just staying within the origin of yourself. When I first met you, you had a transition of actually going from education to communications and stuff like that. But what I want to know is, before you got to where you went in school, give me something about when you lived overseas.
Well, I actually, when I was very young, I was in the Dominican Republic for about 6 months.
Okay.
And just primarily visiting family. My stepfather was Dominican, so
Okay.
we went over and visited his family and things like that. Some things happened over there to kind of spoil our vacation, I'd say.
Okay.
And but we moved past it.
And then you actually, when you left the Dominican Republic, where did you actually come to the United States?
I went back to Boston.
Okay, Boston.
Yeah.
What part of Boston?
Dorchester.
Okay, Dorchester. That's the hood.
Yes,
Okay.
it is, and that's where I grew up. That's where I was born, and everything in Dorchester.
Okay.
And that's where I attribute a lot of my experience growing up, because I've seen a lot of things. A lot of people. I have a great empathy for people.
Okay.
So if I see somebody on the street, and they look really terrible,
You need help.
they
You
need help, then I might not give them $1, but I might go give them something to eat.
Right.
And my plan, I have a lot of plans, later on, to change that aspect of seeing people on the streets and not being able to help each other out, because we need to recognize in this world, in order to live in this world, we have to coexist.
Because when I met you a few years back, from leaving Boston coming into Connecticut, I don't know if I really got a feel of why you really actually came to Connecticut. Tell me why you really came to Connecticut.
Well, see, originally I was living in Gardner, Mass. At the time before I came to Connecticut. My father had, he was in prison for a little while. He came out of prison, and when he came out, it was, as a child, without growing up without a father, you always say, oh, I want to see my dad. I want to see my dad. So for me, it was like, all right, what does he look like? He's been in jail this time. So, of course, on TV, you see the guys in jail always lifting and pumping iron. So I'm envisioning my dad, he's gonna be this strong guy, he's huge. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna play football together and basketball. And, then he gets out and, he's this cook with his belly. So it was a little change of what I had an ideal for him. But, we met, and I came out here because he asked me to come out here and meet his side of the family. Being that my mom's side is from Boston, that's where I grew up. That's who I knew primarily. Coming out here, I met some of my family. I really took more of an independent path being out here. I started going to school after being out here for a little while, and stayed in school since, so I finished. I was gonna move back to Boston, but I decided to finish out here instead of transferring everything to Boston. Really.
What made you go into communications?
Well, I've been in customer service since I started working. Since I was 14, I had my first job. I love dealing with people. I love being able to show people the respect that they deserve, even if they did something wrong once in their life. Then that's one time. However, dealing with these different people, networking, I realized I love to do this. So communication rather, you get to deal with a lot of different people. You get to network. You get to talk and be social. And right now, I host a few shows around the Hartford area. I do a lot as far as poetry, hip hop. I have a group called Cold Hearts Entertainment. All these groups, I want to be able to represent them, even as far as our group, MC Squared.
Right. So you're talking about from an educational standpoint, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, and from a business standpoint.
Right.
And then when you weed all that out, you can actually try to put something together to make it a full flavor, because you're actually an intern for this TV program, Education One.
Right.
And I'm proud to have you aboard, because the thing about it is you brought some insights to me that I didn't know. And actually the person that produces the show told me about some things I didn't know. So I'm still in a learning mode myself, even though my background is education, but the communication side, I'm still learning myself.
Well, Sam, we're never too old to learn, right?
That's exactly. Now, you said the social aspect right now of what you do things. Now, we've been together for a little while, and I'm just going to let everyone know that I noticed that when we're out in a convention or forum, the girls are attracted to you. Now, tell me something about this now.
Don't say that too loud. I don't know who's watching. It's just, I really believe it's just my personality. Okay. When I'm at work, I work with kids, and it could be a group of kids that I'm seeing for the first time, and the other adults observing will say, "Wow, nobody's ever interacted with the kids before. They never responded like this with you, And it'll be to the point where they'll want to give me high fives, want to give me hugs. I say, "Hey, listen, back up," because I'm not trying to get too friendly with the kids and everything. And sometimes you got to set boundaries with them to let them know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. Now, if it was my son or daughter or my nephew or niece or godchildren, I'll say, "Yeah, come give me a hug." But when it's kids that you don't necessarily know, you gotta set some boundaries and everything. So same thing with the women. They see, I guess they feel my vibes.
They're attracted to you. They're attracted to you.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not gonna come up to you and whisper some bad stuff in your ear or anything like that. I'm gonna say hi to you, show you the respect through my eyes, my gestures, everything. Because that's what they teach us in communication. That everything is a signal. So whether I look at you, if I came in here and you said, "Hey, Marcus," and I said, "Hey, Sam," and I looked up and to the right, then I'm not really paying attention.
Now, where are you going to take this communications major? How long? What's the level you're going to take it to?
Oh man. Well, if I can get my doctorate, after I want to get my PhD, I want to get everything. I really want to get everything. But at the same time, I first want to get 2 bachelor's degrees.
Okay.
Possibly one in business as well as communication.
Right.
And I also thought about attending law school.
Okay.
Now that was a dream of mine to attend law school because of the way I grew up.
Okay.
After my mom, I did get moved around a little bit, and I wanted to work with families as a lawyer, so be a family attorney, to basically keep families together. Nowadays, you have I wouldn't necessarily say the government, but society, because you have the media looking at everything, and the way they display things, it just pulls them apart. We are, as this society, we're directed by the media. So whatever is displayed on the media, even if we don't recognize it consciously, unconsciously, it is playing a role in our mind, and it is changing our perception of how we view things and everybody else views things.
Because you told me about 1.5 years ago that you wanted to start some type of group or some type of coalition towards bringing people together, minority people, because you're from the background you grew up, and also helping some people in foster care and stuff like that.
Right.
And also to show people within communications and stop me if I'm wrong here, that it's not so much the communication side, but the business side, and that's what I preach to you.
Right, but not even so much the communication side or the business side, but more of the fundamentals and education side.
Okay.
Now communication is great. You know, business is great because that's what keeps everything going.
Right.
But at the same time, because of the fundamentals and the education being more important, that will lead to, you know, the business aspect and you making money on your trade.
Right.
The group that I want to start, I already started a group at Capital Community College when I was attending there.
Okay.
Called SOUL, Spoken Out Loud Urban Leaders.
Okay.
And that group, since before I even started it there, I had a plan to take it out, create it into a huge facility where I can have these minority children, and not even just minority children, but children from troubled areas.
Okay.
To come in and learn things like acting, rhetoric,
Okay.
things like, you know, poetry, hip hop, whatever they're into, to expand on their skills.
Spoken word.
Right.
Okay.
Whether, you know, even at the same time, if they like to write, you know, help them write better.
Right. Develop something.
And everything like that. So it's expanding the skills that we need. A lot of nowadays, a lot of people don't teach rhetoric. They don't teach elocution when you're speaking, if you want to be a public speaker.
Right.
So rhetoric, I think, is very important because it'll help you develop more things no matter where you go. Okay. And it'll help you develop yourself as a better person, as well as morals and ethics. And those are classes that I want to have. So not the typical schools you see now, because nowadays the schools we have aren't holding the children accountable, aren't teaching them enough to be responsible in society. Because you have a lot of children coming up and you hear gunshots in the neighborhoods, and you turn around and you see a 14-year-old holding a gun. Now, nowhere is that right. Now, first off, nobody should be having a gun unless you're licensed to hunt, or you're a cop.
Okay.
You know, any other than that, you don't need to have a gun.
Okay.
And I remember back in my day, if there was an altercation, we were in the schoolyard, we settled it.
And it was
that was that.
It was done.
There was no, I'm gonna see you on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So everything nowadays is getting really changed. We need to not necessarily bring it back, but we need to halfway bring it back and evolve it, so that these children can evolve with the times.
Well, we're gonna take a little break. We have some bills to pay, and we'll be right back.
So, you know, it's also what I want to do.
Right.
My name is Brian Johnson, and I'm here today to talk about the challenge. I guess what I would like to know from America or the Hartford area is what is the problem and what is the solution? Which is bigger when we discuss the challenge? What we're trying to figure out what's wrong or what we're trying to solve? Is it a philosophical difference that we have amongst our people, or is it a practical difference? Throughout our neighborhoods, many of us can't read or write. If we can't read or write, that prevents us from thinking critically. So we are at a disadvantage coming into this game. So we challenge you to think about some of those things. And through the course of our challenge, we're going to present you with some information that we hope gets you to think about yourself and the community in which you live, and what your role is and how you can help affect change in that community.
Hi, I'm Lori, your host of Up to Date, a calendar show that features all the greatest activities in current events that are taking place in our greater Hartford community. In the coming week, all you have to do is visit accesstv.org, and you will be able to find out what's going on without having to look all over to find it. We'll have it all there for you. So get ready. There's a lot of information to share. Grab a paper, pen, and sit back, because you know you're going to love it, because now you won't have to look to find all this information. We got it covered.
Welcome back to Education One. We have Marcus Harris, a student from CCSU. He's one of my kids from MC Squared Technologies. And as we left off, Marcus, let me know right now, or let the viewers know right now. I'm excited that you're on because we would work together for such a long time, and you've been with MC Squared program for a while. What do you want to do within the next year to see accomplished within the Hartford area and with MC Square?
Well, Sam, we were just talking about networking capabilities and how important those are. Since I've been in Connecticut for about 5 years now, I have been networking with people and other organizations, people that society wouldn't necessarily think that two people would come together, bringing them together. So all these people that I've networked with, I was able to gain some information on how they're knowledgeable about different aspects of the arts. With that information, I plan to go forward within the next year or so, probably when I finish my bachelor's degree, starting my organization involving all of these people that I have in mind to bring in, because whether they're knowledgeable in teaching instruments, whether they're knowledgeable in teaching breakdancing, teaching spoken word, all of these people are key figures in my mind and what I want to do to affect the kids. So, and after I get my bachelor's, but I'm not waiting to get my bachelor's, but I am going to be more stable and developed after I get my bachelor's, because then I'll have some accreditation to my name.
So you're building it in stages.
Right.
Okay.
And right now the stage is really at the foundation stage. And we're going to make sure we stay at the foundation stage as long as we can to make sure the foundation gets built right. Okay. And I don't care if it takes a year or 2 years to build that foundation, and then 6 months to build the rest. But we're going to spend that time on the foundation.
I'm going to take a moment and explain to the viewers that MC Square started with a woman out of the north end of Hartford named Pastor Wade Lanier. From 2001 to when she died last year of July, right after her birthday, MC Squared and New Temple of God actually had over 100-something kids. Right. You came at the tail end of Wade Lanier. The question was, and people came to me, what has MC Square or the New Temple of God done in the last 10 years? Now, we're low key. We don't show out. We're trying to stay humble, and we're trying to stay prayerful in things. Right. As this program goes, you and others that came through MC Square program, they will see. Right. Because seeing is believing. Now, we have news articles and different things, and we did Katrina Arena raising money, and we did the food health, and we fed 1,000 people in 2004, 2005. That we're the only small community church have done this out of all the 300 churches. But the thing about it is, I want them to start seeing MC Square people. Because as I speak to people, and as you speak to people in Hartford, they have to see things. They said, go by faith, not by sight. Right. But apparently it's just the opposite. Yeah. So I'm still going by what Pastor Nair taught me, or Father Segru, or brothers, fathers, because by trade I'm Catholic. But in the last 10 years, I've been with the Pentecostal way. And I respect everybody's religion. Even a guy that actually hosts this show, he have taught me a lot of things. I respect him greatly, but I've been knowing him for well over 20 years, him and his wife. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why we're going to have you on as a contributor, and that's why I have you as for an intern. So as people go, you can talk about MC Square and Nets and actually Soul to Soul or whatever your group, your building, and this is real. This question I'm going to ask you right now, and I want you to really elaborate on it. What can MC Square and myself can do for you now or for the future, as long as I got breath in my body? Oh, wow. MC Square can do a lot for me and for my program that I want to establish. MC Square is already doing a lot for me by helping keeping me motivated. And that right there is a lot, especially when
you come from a city where you have your family to move to another city where you have part of your family, but you don't really know them. So you feel by yourself.
Right.
So to have some moral support behind you is huge. Going forward, also, MC Squared has taught me so much regarding the business aspect, the way to deal with people, the types of people to deal with, and how to deal with them. So I believe in the future, I can't even tell you how MC Squared can really help me. It's just going to fall into place because it has been.
Right.
You know, I never thought 3 years ago, 4 years ago, oh yeah, I'm going to run into some people who are going to help me out. So I don't have to really worry. No, I was always stressing like, okay, how am I going to get this going?
Right.
I said, God, please help me out. How am I going to do this? You know? And he brought me to MC Squared. So it was like, all right, cool. Now it is my job to make myself more accountable as well. Because no matter what MC Squared tries to do for me, I have to be willing to accept what they're doing and try to do better for myself. So MC Squared, that motivation is key, number one. And as far as going into the program, MC Squared was based on math and science. So that aspect of education and the teaching aspect, they already know.
Right, critical thinking.
Exactly.
Right.
So if they can come together, and what I plan, however many teachers I bring in, I want them to be on the same page all the time. So with MC Squared, I want them to work with these teachers to have workshops and exchange ideas. So it's not just MC Squared workshop for the teachers, but it's a collaborative workshop for all who are involved. And they're going off of each other, pinging ideas back and forth. So it's not one person just, you know, being a monarch per se and saying, okay, you guys are going to do it this way, and if you don't do it this way, you're out the door. It's going to be a very suggestive atmosphere, very cohesive, and that's what I believe education needs to be successful. And that's what I want to be cohesive with MC Squared Nets, no matter where I go.
You know, when I sit down and talk to young people like yourself, women and men, I say my kids, but you're not a child, but the thing about it is, you know, I don't have any kids, but the kids that come through MC Square's doors, they become my kids. Right. And I take it very personal, you know that. I'm looking for all the young men and women that came through MC Square doors to be somebody, maybe not a billionaire or trillionaire or whatever you want to call it that way, but successful in their own right. If I can keep everybody together as a family, because I'm about family, and to take everyone's knowledge in bits and pieces, because everyone don't know everything. So if I can take what Marcus knows, and what Lucy knows, what Oflo knows, and everybody and everyone else, I can say, well, if God takes me tomorrow, I know my kids are settled, they're stable, their foundation. Of course, when you lose somebody, you're gonna feel it, but at least the foundation is in your heart. Right. And that's what I was taught by, I keep coming back to the producer of this show. And he's a good friend of mine because his heart is like this. And he looks, he said, Samuel, and he keeps me motivated. He's my mentor. He says, you gotta look at the whole aspect, just not part of it. So when you look at people, it is what it is. So you just gotta take it for a grain of salt. You build around it. So, you know, my thing right now is that I'm not looking for great things out of myself anymore. I'm looking for great things out of my kids that I was taught. So I'm looking for you and a few other people to actually eventually take over MC Square. I'm sort of beat right now. I'm a little tired, but I know I have to keep going because we took a step back in some things because of politics and power. I don't look at politics and power. I look at actually the educational standpoint to say, okay, Marcus got from junior, senior, now he's graduated from high school, we're in college, now we're going on our master's degree program, and Marcus telling me what I don't know. And that's what I'm looking at. What I don't know, you have to tell me because I don't know. I don't want to know everything. I want my kids to come back and tell me, Mr. Sam, guess what? This is what we need to do. And I said, well, go do it.
See, and I like that aspect that you have, that perception. And it's important for all of society to treat the children of society as if you are their parents. Because when they leave their home, then whether they're contacting you as your bus driver, you're just a person to say hi to them on the street or something, everything is influencing them.
Right.
You know, children are like sponges, like we all know.
Right.
And the most influential time is when you are a child, because you learn the most.
Well, we're going to stop at that note, and I'm hoping you can come back on the 27th, because the 27th is a special date, and the special date is whose birthday?
I believe that's Jimi Hendrix's birthday.
It's Jimi Hendrix. You know I love Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. He came out that guitar, right?
With the Stratocaster.
Yeah, switch it from the left hand to the right.
Yeah, you restrung the guitar. But I'm going to let all the viewers know, if you're looking for Educational One, come on accesstv.org. If you're looking for MC Squared Technology, you can go to mcsquare-nets.org or mcsquarenets@yahoo.com. You can email me, or you can give me a call, 860-212-8164. Hey, I'm going to see you next week. Same time, same place. Education One. Have a nice day.